that is just focused exclusively on this verification for so many years. And of course, there are snags, there are CDN Live, there are mental graphics forums, and etc. And there have been few attempts. There have been a DV club, there have been a DVM. I'm sure many of you have been part of it, especially Pradeep Chakraborty, having been blogging all along on these topics. And most of the leaders, have been presenting in those various forums, including people like Gaurav Jalan and others, right? What has been lacking is the so-called DVCon, right? That happens in the US. And somehow we have been saying, yes, we need it. And then when it goes to DAC, we say, oh, we have a VLSA conference that's much older, which is true. We have, in fact, I was just commenting on a Semicon blog last evening on, they said, this DVCon Europe launching, is it the right place? Isn't this the wrong place? Shouldn't it be in India, etc.? And I commented saying, probably it's not all that bad because, even before that, we have been having this forum, like a VLSA conference. So that I equated, one of my roles is to see how we foster the growth here in terms of language and standards development. And because we have so much talent pool and the leadership pipeline now being there, we need to take the step. And I strongly believe it's not someone else will give it to you, right? We need to do it. I mean, it's all us. Nobody else would do it for us. And so we have started talking. So even this week, if you are interested, please join in. We are forming the steering committee and etc. So hopefully Dennis Brophy will talk a little bit more about that. So later this week, we have a meeting planned. This is for something what we call as an Accelera Day. That will be sponsored by the committee called Accelera, and all the way leading up to DVCon 2015 in India. But again, please don't make it a commitment from my end because I alone cannot do this, right? We all need all of you to make this happen. We need to have excellent quality papers, high quality papers. I see TI here publishing a paper in the US, so why not have it here, right? And of course, there are these snags and mugs and DVCon, the CDN Lives, but it will be a very, very good platform to have an independent vendor, independent one, to have this views, expressed. In that initiative, we started saying, oh, I can't wait. Let me do something. Because CVC, at CVC have been, this is another opportunity for us to show you that we have been here for 10 years now. This is a 10th year in existence. And we thought our main vision and mission has been that we create a vibrant VLSA ecosystem. So what exactly do we mean? We need to enable this ecosystem. We can be an enabler, but we need all of your support. And it's in that earnest interest we said, let's arrange this, what we call as a UVM 1.2 day, and just invite you all and have some good talks. If not, these are mostly invited talks, these are not papers per se, but we do have a lot of good technical content coming in later in the day. So this is roughly the agenda for this morning. Already I'm doing this. And of course, this is holiday time, so hopefully you will bear with us for this, because some people, when I quit my last job, started commenting, oh, it's a mom and pop show. I said, yes, we are proud to be a mom and pop show. CVC is a mom and pop show. I don't have any hesitation in saying this, right? Why not? When people say startups are garage stores, yeah, I mean, that's how they start, right? So every big company starts like that, and we have been starting like this, we have been surviving like this, and we will survive like that. So please bear with us for the little ones who will be around. Getting back to the agenda, right? So we have excellent agenda. I'm really, really proud of what we have been able to put together. And again, the thanks goes to each and every individual who has made this possible. Starting from Vinay, Vikas, Dennis Brophy, and all others that you see. And later on, we have Anil Gupta coming in and then talking about the semicon industry and the DV opportunity and etc. And by no means is a hands-on, any training or anything, so don't worry about opening your laptop and typing some code. If you want to, by the way, there is a way to do it now. You don't need any tool. Now there's just a web launch and then you can run UVM. That's a big push. We have done it so far in the industry, right? So getting back to this agenda part, so we have the first keynote from Binay Shanai. He's Managing Director of Infinite Technologies. And I'm proud to have been associated with him for as long as my career has been, right? I still remember the day when I joined IIT Delhi, and he was the first one to meet me and then hire me into that particular organization. It was called MTech VDTT, Real Estate Design Tools and Technology. And that was the first year it was being launched, and I believe you were there for the interview panel and etc. And I was one of the first guys to get into this Philips-sponsored program. And immediately, the 96, 97 I finished, and then I joined under him in Bangalore. So I was just commenting on it outside. So he's my first manager, and I'm very, very glad that he has agreed to come and talk about the first time here, being the first keynote speaker. Then we have Vikas Gautam, who's our Senior Director at Verification Group and Synopsys. I still cannot kind of digest, or maybe just the word I just still used, if you have noticed, our, because it's just so close to my heart that I have been working with him for so long. And I was just commenting saying, he was my last manager. I worked for him at Synopsys. So I'm just glad to have Vikas Gautam and Srini here. And both have played a very, very key role in shaping my career, and hopefully we give it back to the ecosystem. Then we have Ajita. She's, by the way, if some of you didn't know, she's my wife. And now I work for her both at home and office. That's another way to say it, right? So like it or not, that's the way it is. But this is going fun. And she's going to talk just about the entrepreneurship that has led all the way back from 2003 to here. And then we have tea break, and then we have me coming and dancing for a while about whatever I can. Right? Hopefully you like that story. And then we have the big thing happening on the birthday baby. That's the UVM 1.2 day. That's the UVM 1.2. And apparently it wasn't really planned this way, but then Accelerate decided to release exactly the UVM 1.2 on this day to the public. Even though the early edition is available, early version is available to the users, you can go and download and use it, but it's not publicly visible, and today it should be made visible. And that's what Dennis would be focusing on. And then we have Cadence. I believe the presenter name has slightly changed, but we'll know. So he's from Cadence. He's going to be talking about what has changed in UVM 1.2. Do we have Dhaneshwar here? I haven't met him, so I know Kishore to some extent, but there's a new person called Dhaneshwar who would be talking, apparently. So he should be coming in some point in time. And that would be the UVM 1.2, and I'm really hoping he would turn in. Otherwise, I'm going to rely on a big guy called Gaurav Jalan to help us with what is UVM 1.2. Yes, I also know, of course, but it'll be good to have, or if anyone else is interested in talking about UVM 1.2, if you have played with it, you could come and talk, no problem. And then, of course, we have lunch, and then we have actually, this is another interesting thing that we have. This is, again, goes back to our belief. The ecosystem has to grow all the way bottom up, right? And there's no better way than to engage the academia than getting this really done. We have always been, I've been through so many forums wherein we say, oh, we want to bridge the academia industry gap. And we need to do, right? I know there's a lot of activity happening, but how do we kind of link it all? So we are happy to have at least two of our educational partners. One is from Manipal, which is Sundaresan, and then I don't know if Sriram is planning to present, but if he can, one or two slides on what we are doing with the Kanchi University. So that's another thing that we could offer on how do they see UVM. And you would be surprised. Did anyone know that there is UVM course being offered at an Indian university as a full semester program? Yes, it's a full semester program, and they also have a lab. And this is the same university that has produced this latest CEO of Microsoft. Nothing but Manipal, right? So I'm very happy to have Sundaresan here to talk about what are they doing with the UVM initiatives at their college. And for many of you who are at the senior position looking to hire the right kind of guys or looking for interns and etc., with the UVM skills, now there is opportunity, right? And we have been working with them for the last 2-3 years, and we would present few things on what we are doing. And then we have Mr. Anil Gupta talking about the semiconductor industry trends. He's the managing director at Applied Micro. Then the most important session, I would say, from being a techie at the heart. For me, this has been the, honestly, of course, everything else is important, but being a techie, I think the technical portion, I couldn't find a better person than Gaurav to talk about this. I said, he said, I don't know much about UVM 1.2, what's happening? I said, don't worry. I mean, I know you would do a great job. Hopefully there's enough knowledge in the community that he runs an excellent blog on Siddhakarna. And it's one of the most popularly read blog in technical community. When I say that, I definitely need to look at Pradeep, because he runs the blog that is world's most famous in the whole industry and etc. But this goes back to the verification domain. I think Gaurav Jalan definitely has a great blog. If you haven't been seeing it, please do. And he's going to be talking about the UVM sequences, what has been new, what has been good, what has been old, and what has been changing, right? So what are the new features that probably you haven't realized, including the command line invocation of the sequences and etc. Then we have my team members presenting about how did we find migrating to UVM 1.2, the early stage. We have about 5-6 IPs, VIPs being migrated without burning the sun, and also a complete SOC. Just to give you a brief peek at it, about 15,000 lines of code written with the UVM early edition or the 1.1 has been migrated to 1.2 in about 2-3 days of a junior's work. So even though a lot of people have concerns on UVM 1.2 backward compatibility, we have proven, or we have our expertise to do this in a fairly short amount of time. So you would see some of that experience over there. And then we have one of the, we are looking at now, towards the end of the day, we would start saying, okay, this is good. Where do we go from here? Okay, UVM 1.2 is here, where do we go? That's what my friend Pradeep Salla will be talking about. And this is where the next generation languages, next generation standards are coming in. Hopefully some of you are tracking it and being part of it. Again, I invite you to be part of this community to drive the standards from here. This has been my push, and please start joining in and then start doing that. And then we have the return gifts for every attendee. So please do be around. And let me introduce my team. There's Kavya. She's our HR. She would be the anchor for today, introducing the presenters and things. As it goes, I keep overstepping on others' timelines. So sorry about that, Vinay. But you know me. Hopefully that's not a crime. Let's get started.